This week on Crunchweek, the Twitter soap opera continues. Uber raises at a massive valuation, and the story of Ouya finally comes to a close. Hi there, I'm Matthew Lynley.
Hey, I'm Megan Dickey.
Our newest writer.
Yes.
Indeed.
Drew Olanoff. Not the newest writer.
Not the newest writer. Sorry, your title's been taken,
Thank
unfortunately.
Sorry about that, Drew.
No,
So let's talk about Twitter. What is there to talk about on Twitter? Oh my goodness. So they just reported earnings this week, and there's a whole lot of news that came out of that. We had a couple of executive departures, and Jack Dorsey is not happy with the numbers.
Right. Yeah. Wow. Where do you start? Like you said, very appropriately, it's a soap opera. CEO search, there's no update there. So Jack's still interim guy there. Earnings was interesting. They, beat financial expectations, but user growth was ridiculously just slow, if
That's
anything
pretty normal
at all.
for Twitter, right?
Which is normal for Twitter. They're
They've been-
stuck at about that 300 million user, 300 to 315 range. Stock dropped 14% the day after.
As one does.
But yeah, I mean, a couple people in the growth department, strangely, took off for other companies.
Chris Olstein, did I
Yeah.
pronounce that correctly?
Yeah.
He went to YouTube, and then
Todd Jackson,
Dropbox. That's right. So discovery and growth.
So
two
some things are being
interesting
shaken up.
things that they need a little bit of work on.
Yes, and so then as Jack did, they did the earnings on Periscope, which is the first time they've
Yeah,
done
that
a
was
video,
interesting,
which was
yeah.
interesting.
Man, they really like Periscope a lot.
Yeah, I don't know about Periscope. I just can't really get into it. I don't know. What about you guys?
I mean, I think you can mute users now or something
I think
like that.
you can do something like
Yeah.
that. I don't know. I mean, it's their.
Small updates, but that's like their favorite product now or something
I mean,
like
Jack called it the next big thing,
Yeah.
but I don't know what that means really. I mean, they want it to be the next big thing. But yeah, the Twitter stuff continues.
Who do you think is going to be the next CEO?
I don't think it's going to be Bain. I don't think it's going to be
No?
Bain. No, I don't think so. Although it was really funny, a meme came out. It's nice when you see companies like lash out and like start their own memes. A Recode article talked about Adam Bain being too nice.
So nice, yeah.
Right. So they started a hashtag Adam Bain is so nice, and they were like, Adam Bain's so nice, and like, he's nicer than a Canadian.
Yeah.
Which is the nicest you can
Yeah, that's
possibly
like
be.
super nice.
But clearly, there's, it just seems like it's always stressful over there.
Oh, yeah.
The Jack says got to do better at user acquisition. Nobody has ideas on how that's going to be.
And so how does Twitter start to grow given the fact that Facebook continues to grow, right? It's sort of strange that they haven't quite figured out a strategy, even though it's one of the largest communications platforms in the world, right?
Do you have ideas? Because it seems like everybody's
how should Twitter
Yeah.
You're sorry, we're just throwing you straight into it.
Oh,
so.
yeah, totally.
I bet you
Twitter
got
and
it.
growth. I mean, well, my personal interest is in so something around social issues, with the whole Sandra Bland thing, Black Twitter in general. I feel like there's a lot of potential there, but Twitter really needs to actually nurture that environment on Twitter. I feel like there's oh yes, we realize it exists, but what are they actually doing to help it grow? Right. So maybe if they pay a little bit more attention to these really active power users, it can actually get more growth just with people in other communities.
Right, which is Project Lightning. They're talking about, curating, doing more human curation to bring out these great tweets, which to me is what mainstream media has been doing for Twitter for the past 8 years, is pulling out those tweets. Like Donald Trump says something stupid, here's his tweet. It's on CNN, ESPN, whatever. That's the mainstream media curates Twitter already.
Right.
I guess I'm a doomsday kind of guy in this, in that I feel like you'd be hard-pressed to find someone who doesn't know what Twitter is. It's really simple, right? You go there to post thoughts.
Yeah, there's that, but there are still a lot of people who just don't get Twitter, don't get what it is. They have accounts where they're just what do I do here?
Yeah.
Because there are people that want to be on it and would probably be active, but it's almost as if they need some hand-holding to figure out why they should even be on
why
there.
Is the question for sure. They don't get why.
So, so speaking of why,
I don't even know why I'm on there half the time.
Speaking of why, there's a new story out that Uber has just raised at a $50 billion valuation. It's a lot of billions.
Lots of billies.
I've been told you have strong feelings about Uber.
Oh no, look, some of their stuff in the past, some of their activities and PR strategies and attitudes have been douchey, but I mean, it seems like you've got to be douchey to make way in this, you know, in the old school taxi cab industry, or, you know, plus you have to be a douchebag to beat the government in anything. But they're another $1 billion. They're going to invest $1 billion in India, and they're rich.
I don't know, but I mean, like, what about Lyft? Like, I feel like they don't have these douchey practices. And I mean, like, yes, like, they're not like, I don't know, what's Lyft's valuation right now?
I'm not
Something
sure.
in the small billions. Although, like, small note. You know, Uber's gotten so expensive at this point that, of course, like, there's no natural acquirer. What about Lyft?
I think, I mean, if Google is interested, like we had heard, maybe they want to do some kind of ride sharing, whatever, need a little bit of that infrastructure. Lyft is smart for a big player who wants to get into that space. Uber is unacquirable, which is kind of the point of raising all that money, and that's fine. But they're also getting a lot of things done. I mean, they're pushing their ways into, now you can get an Uber at Oakland Airport, where they were banned before, and that opened doors for Lyft. So Uber's pushy ways are getting things done for both companies, for all companies in the space.
Yeah, but I don't know, it's kind of nice probably for Lyft that like they're not having to spend as much money. They're just like, all right, Uber, you just like get all the flack, like make everyone hate you, and then we'll just like kind of like creep right behind you. So maybe that's their strategy. Who knows?
So another thing happened this week. The tale of Ouya has finally ended. They were acquired by Razer, and basically, this is no.
Okay.
The gaming company.
Okay.
Or I think they do gaming stuff. But this has been a long, drawn-out saga. They had raised, a ton of money. Most recently, they raised money from Alibaba. I think we heard that was a valuation between $60 and $80 million or something like that. Then they raised a round of venture debt. Always challenging, right? You have an Ouya, I think.
I did. I got it from you. I do. It's somewhere. I used it once, and I was like, oh, it's an Android gaming, cool. But there was never like a killer game for it, an exclusive deal. There wasn't that reason to bring it out of the, the drawer.
Do you think that's why? That's one of the reasons why Ouya just totally never made it, or?
They had big ideas and never cashed in on them, which happens to a lot of small startups. I mean.
Yeah, I guess I just never got like what I never. Speaking of whys, I guess that's like the theme of this. But like why would I have wanted to get in Ouya? Like I grew up gaming. Like it was all about PS3, Grand Theft Auto. Like why would I go to this like? I mean, what was the point?
I don't know, but then it was supposed to. I think to support like indie game developers, but then Xbox. Microsoft and PlayStation both have sections where you can play indie games too. So maybe it just wasn't that indie platform that it had hoped to be. They had lots of shiny videos and 3D models and all that stuff. It just didn't work out. All right, so now they sold to a scooter company.
All the deep questions of why about the universe. That's all the time we have for this week. Thanks for joining us.